Have you ever held a coin in your hand and wondered, what if this tiny piece of metal could change my life forever? Have you ever imagined that one day, the coin hiding in your drawer, or the one resting silently in a jar for years, could be worth more than you ever dreamed? Well, today, we're not talking about just any coin. We're talking about a coin surrounded by rumors, legends, and unbelievable claims. A coin that collectors online whisper about, some calling it $1 million treasure, others dismissing it as just another old coin. But what if I told you, there are people who believe this coin could be hiding a version so rare, so unique, that its value could shatter expectations. A coin struck with a purpose, to celebrate 200 years of American independence. A coin that carries freedom, history, and mystery in every curve of its metal. Yes, today, we uncover the truth behind the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial Eisenhower dollar. But here's the twist. Not everything about this coin is what it seems. Some versions are worth a few dollars. Some are worth thousands. And then there are the stories. Stories of a version so rare that collectors dream of finding it. Could you be holding one of those? Could you be sitting on a hidden fortune? In this video, we are going to peel back every layer of mystery. From the rumors of million-dollar auctions, to the secrets of rare minting errors, to the truth behind what makes some Eisenhower coins explode in value. And trust me, the real value might just shock you. So don't skip ahead. Don't stop watching. Because somewhere in this story is the moment where myth meets reality. And by the end of this journey, you will know whether your 1776 to 1976 Eisenhower dollar is just a regular coin or a whispering treasure of fortune. Stay with me to the end, because what you learn today could change how you look at every coin you ever touch again. Let's begin. Before we talk about value, before we chase legends and fortune, we must travel back in time, not just decades, but centuries. Because this coin is not merely a piece of metal. It is a bridge between the birth of a nation and the modern world. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the year 1776. A world of muskets, parchment, powdered wigs, and candlelight. A new nation struggling to breathe its first breath of freedom, signing a declaration that would echo across the globe. We hold these truths to be self-evident. Revolution was not an idea, it was a fire burning in the hearts of ordinary men who dreamed of liberty. Fast forward 200 years. The world has changed, but the spirit of freedom remains. It is now 1976. America's bicentennial. Fireworks light the sky. Parades march through crowded streets. Red, white, and blue waves on every rooftop and every heart. And the U.S. Mint, to honor this staggering moment in history, creates something special. Something symbolic. A coin unlike the ordinary. A coin that would forever carry not 1 year, but 2. 1776 to 1976. A reminder of a revolutionary dream. And 2 centuries of struggle, war, growth, mistakes, triumph, discovery. All forged into metal. But something else was happening too. A great American hero, President Dwight D. Eisenhower. A general of World War II. A leader who stood against tyranny. Had passed only a few years earlier. And so this coin becomes 2 tributes in one. A tribute to freedom, and a tribute to the man who defended it on the battlefield and in the White House. The Eisenhower dollar, the last large-size U.S. dollar coin ever struck for circulation. A piece of history you could hold. A piece of pride Americans carried in their pockets, gave to their children, saved in jars, tucked away in drawers. Not everyone noticed it then. But time, oh yes, time changes everything. Coins that once jingled unnoticed now whisper secrets. Collectors begin hunting them. Rumors spread. Stories emerge. Of rare versions, silver strikes, minting anomalies, and impossible values whispered in auctions and collector forums. And suddenly, a coin once used to buy candy or pay bus fare becomes a symbol of possibility. A treasure waiting to be recognized. The question now is not why this coin exists, but rather, what makes some of them worth a fortune? What hidden details separate the ordinary from the extraordinary? Which versions are common? And which are the whispered holy grails of collectors? And more importantly, could one of those rare marvels be sitting in your hand right now? We are just getting started, because next, we look not only at history, but at the design, the meaning hidden in its artwork, the symbols carved into its metal, and the clues that could reveal whether you possess a rare bicentennial treasure. Take a breath, because the deeper we go, the more secrets this coin begins to reveal. Now that we've stepped back into history, it's time to look closer, because every coin tells a story, not in words, but in metal. And this coin, it speaks in symbols of power, freedom, sacrifice, and destiny. Hold your bicentennial Eisenhower dollar in your hand. Feel its weight. This is not a small, forgettable coin. It's bold, heavy, a statement, almost demanding attention. The obverse, a leader cast in time. On the front, you see Dwight D. Eisenhower, a man who commanded armies, held nations together, and steered America through the storm of global conflict. Notice his gaze. Forward, strong, determined. Not a portrait trapped in the past, but a leader looking toward the future. Above him, the word, liberty. Not just a word, a promise. A reminder that freedom wasn't granted. It was earned, fought for, protected. And beneath him, the words, in God we trust. A national belief. A message carved into every American coin, whispering that destiny is guided by faith and courage. And there it is. The date that makes this coin legendary. 1776 to 1976. Not stamped once, but twice in time. A bridge between revolution and modern America. This coin doesn't just mark a year. It marks 200 years of survival and triumph. The reverse, a tale written in stars and liberty. Flip it over. Here lies one of the most symbolic designs in coin history. Front and center. The Liberty Bell. Cracked. Weathered. But still standing. Just like freedom. Fragile, but unbroken. The bell that rang for the birth of a nation. Now rings again in metal, 200 years later. But wait, look behind it. The moon. A subtle reminder that freedom didn't stop at borders. It reached the stars. The same nation born in 1776. Landed on the moon in 1969. Two achievements, side by side. One symbol of the past. One symbol of humanity's leap into the impossible. The message is clear. This coin is not about money. It is about legacy. A journey from Earth to the stars. Beneath the bell, you see the Latin phrase, E pluribus unum. Out of many, one. A nation made of many voices, many dreams, one purpose. And then, $1. Simple, direct. But don't let that fool you. Sometimes the simplest text hides extraordinary worth. But here's the real question. In a world where billions of coins exist, how do you recognize the rare ones? The ones that collectors chase. The ones whispered about in numismatic circles. The ones that might just turn a simple dollar into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure? Because not all Eisenhower bicentennial dollars are created equal. Some are ordinary. Some are special. Some are silver. Some contain rare errors that only the sharpest eyes can catch. And one tiny detail, one mark, one anomaly, one minting mystery, could be the difference between a coin worth pocket change and a coin worth thousands, or perhaps, as rumors say, much, much more. But we're not there yet. First, we must explore the secrets of how these coins were struck, where they were minted, and what rare versions exist. Then, we dive deep into errors, silver strikes, low mintage rarities, and true values. That can shock even seasoned collectors. The clues are coming. The treasure hunt is about to begin. Stay with me, because in Part 4, we unlock the world of errors, rare varieties, and potential high-value coins. And this is where fortunes hide in plain sight. Now we enter the realm that every collector, every treasure hunter, every dreamer waits for. This is where the ordinary ends, and discovery begins. Because hidden within this 1976 to 1976 bicentennial Eisenhower dollar, yes, the 1776 to 1976 version, are secrets, tiny details pressed into metal half a century ago that today can create shock, excitement, disbelief, and yes, in rare cases, life-changing value. You may look at your coin and think, it's just a dollar. But sometimes, reality plays tricks. Sometimes, fortune hides quietly, disguised as something common, and only those who know what to look for, who are curious enough to question everything, those are the ones who uncover the truth. Hold your coin again. Feel the weight. Because everything now depends on the small things other people overlook. First, mint marks and metal. This coin was struck at multiple locations, and each mint left a clue, one tiny letter or its absence that can shift value dramatically. Look carefully near the neck of Eisenhower's portrait. Do you see a D, Denver? An S, San Francisco? Or no mint mark, Philadelphia? Each possibility opens up different value ranges. If it bears S and is the silver version, 40% silver, or some special proof, that's where things start to get interesting. Because San Francisco didn't just strike regular coins. They struck special silver-clad proof versions. Silver changes everything, not just the look, but the sound, the feel, the value. While most bicentennial dollars are copper-nickel clad, a small portion shimmer with 40% silver, and those can turn a single dollar into hundreds or sometimes thousands of dollars. How to tell? The edge of the coin will help. A normal clad coin has a visible copper stripe in the edge. A silver version will not, and it will weigh slightly more. Given that the silver versions are rarer in business strike form, they excite collectors. But metal and mint mark aren't the only secrets. Mistakes happened in the minting press. In the world of coins, mistakes are magic. Imagine giant coin presses striking metal thousands of times per hour. Dies wear down, slip, crack. A misalignment, a double strike, a planchet error, a wrong metal blank slipping in, any of these creates a coin no one expects. The mint tries for perfection, machines try for precision, but perfection is a myth. Collectors know it. Some bicentennial Eisenhower dollars carry double die obverse errors. Letters appear slightly shadowed or doubled, especially in Liberty or In God We Trust. Others show doubled letters on the bell or doubling on the moon design, where the fine lines begin to echo, creating ghost-like duplicates of themselves. Some show struck-through errors where lint, debris, or foreign material left a scar during striking, freezing a tiny accident into history. Others have off-center strikes, blank arcs around the rim, or planchet flaws where metal bubbles or lamination affects the surface. And then, the whispers. Rumors of wrong planchet strikes, bicentennial dollars struck on quarter blanks or half-dollar blanks. Stories of mysterious prototype strikes, coins with missing details, or ultra-high relief strikes from early dies. Coins no one was supposed to have, but somehow they exist. Collectors have paid thousands for certain proof errors. High-grade silver versions from San Francisco in pristine condition have commanded enormous sums. Deep cameo proofs, mirror fields, frosted devices are also highly prized. And beyond all that, there is the myth of a special strike, a rumored experimental version, the No S proof silver bicentennial Eisenhower dollar. According to sources, only one or two may exist, and values quoted are in the hundreds of thousands to possibly over $1 million. Now let's put numbers on these approximate price ranges you might find in the marketplace. Remember, condition, grade, matters a huge amount, and what follows are rough guides, not guarantees. A common 1976 bicentennial Eisenhower dollar-clad, copper-nickel, business strike, circulated grade, generally $1 to $5. Uncirculated, mint state, examples of the common-clad version, perhaps $4 to $10, if in nice condition. Proof-clad versions, San Francisco S, copper-nickel more like $4 to $20 depending on grade. Silver-clad business strike or proof versions, 40% silver values jump, many in the hundreds of dollars. For example, the silver version may be $150 to $300 in good proof grade. Rare error coins, some struck on wrong planchets, or severe off-center, doubling etc., these have been documented for thousands of dollars. For example, one error involving a clad dollar struck on a dime blank sold for about $8,050 in 2007. The ultra-rare No-S proof silver version, one or very few known, is valued at around $850,000 in PCGS Guide for one specimen. There is speculation that this version could reach seven-figure territory, i.e., $1 million plus, depending on discovery and condition. So yes, there are claimed values across a huge spectrum, from just a few dollars up to hundreds of thousands, or even potentially over $1 million. The difference is variety, metal, error, rarity, condition. This is why people stare at these coins under magnifiers. This is why collectors whisper, why rumors spread, why treasure hunters search old jars and dusty drawers. Because sometimes, fate hides brilliance in plain sight. And yet, there is another truth. For every spectacular rarity, there are countless ordinary coins. Many bicentennial Eisenhower dollars live quiet lives as simple collectibles worth modest amounts. But does that make them dull? No. Because true treasure is not just in price, it is in story, in mystery, in the thrill of pursuit. And those who search, those who examine, those who learn, they are part of a legacy of curiosity that traces back to the first coin ever struck. Right now, you know more than most people about this coin. You know where to look, what to check, what to question. And soon you will know the truth behind those million-dollar rumors too. Because yes, the internet loves dramatic claims. Yes, people talk about million-dollar Eisenhower dollars. And sometimes the truth is not what you expect. But do not worry. We will peel back that layer too, slowly, carefully, honestly. First we needed to explore possibilities. We had to understand, rare things do happen, extraordinary coins do exist, and treasure sometimes hides in the ordinary. After all, hope is the spark that keeps every treasure hunter moving. And knowledge is the key that opens the door. Next, we walk into reality. Not to crush dreams, but to sharpen them. To separate rumor from truth. Fantasy from fact. Opportunity from illusion. Stay right here. Because in the next part, we confront the million-dollar question head-on. Are bicentennial Eisenhower dollars really worth millions? Where did these claims come from? Who said it, and why? And what is the real highest price ever paid? The answers may surprise you, and they may change how you look at every coin you ever hold again. You've now walked through the history. You've studied the design. You've explored hidden errors and rare varieties. And for a moment, the imagination runs wild. Because you've seen the headlines, the whispers, the YouTube thumbnails with big red circles and giant price tags. This bicentennial dollar is worth $1 million. Check your change. Life-changing coin. Millions. Life-changing figures. A dream inside a drawer, a miracle inside a jar of old coins. But now we step into the truth. Not to dim the excitement, but to sharpen it. Because real treasure hunters don't live in fantasy. They live in curiosity, knowledge, and reality. And reality is far more interesting than clickbait. Let's breathe. Hold your coin again. Turn it in the light. Let the weight fall into your palm. Ask yourself, why do people believe this coin is worth $1 million? Where do these claims come from? Are they lies? Or is there a deeper story? The truth is this. Most bicentennial Eisenhower dollars are not worth a fortune. They were minted in large numbers. Millions upon millions exist. And a regular circulated one, the kind found in change, in jars, in family drawers, sells for a few dollars at most. That is reality. And yet, the million-dollar whispers didn't come from nowhere. They came from rarity. They came from mystery. They came from possibility. Those extraordinary few coins that appeared once, then vanished like legends. One experimental piece, rumored to be an ultra-prototype silver strike with no mint mark, graded, documented, whispered in auction rooms, shocked collectors with a valuation in the hundreds of thousands. Another rare error, a breathtaking mistake, struck on the wrong metal, sold for thousands. And deep mirror cameo silver proofs in elite grades? They reached numbers many never expected a bicentennial dollar to reach. So no, the $1 million claim isn't pure fantasy. It is anchored in the extraordinary. in the rarest of rare, in accidents that weren't meant to exist. But here is the truth collectors know, the truth treasure hunters live by. The dream is not the guarantee of $1 million coin. The dream is the possibility of one. Just like a lottery ticket doesn't promise riches, but it gives a spark, a thrill, a reason to look closer, to learn, to search, to hope. And hope, coupled with knowledge, is where fortune grows. So when someone asks, "Are bicentennial dollars worth millions?" you now know what to say. Some, extremely rare, special, one-in-a-generation pieces can reach unbelievable values. But most are treasured for their history, their symbolism, and their story, not their price. Yet here's the beauty of collecting. Even if your coin isn't worth thousands, you still hold something priceless. A coin born to celebrate freedom. A piece of America's heartbeat. A tribute to courage, bravery, sacrifice, exploration. A coin that connects 1776 to today. A reminder that history can live in your hand. And that sometimes, value isn't measured in dollars, but in meaning. And make no mistake, every great discovery starts with a person who refused to ignore the ordinary. Someone who looked at a simple coin and wondered if it might be more. That's you now. A seeker. A watcher. A believer in possibilities grounded in truth. And now, there is one final step. We've walked through suspense, excitement, learning, myth, and reality. But before we close this journey, we must bring everything together. The emotion, the truth, the legacy, the lesson. Because in the end, this isn't just a story about a coin. It's a story about wonder, about curiosity, about finding value in places most people never look. Stay with me, because in the final part, we conclude, reflect, and leave your viewers with a lasting spark. A coin in their hand, and a new way of seeing the world. Now, as we reach the final moments of our journey with this legendary bicentennial Eisenhower dollar, let's pause and reflect. We started with whispers of million-dollar dreams, of a coin that could turn ordinary pockets into treasure chests. We walked through history, through war and victory, through the birth of a nation and the bold face of a leader who stood for strength. We explored design, artwork, symbolism, and the mysterious errors collectors chase like secret codes left behind by the mint itself. We uncovered the truths behind prices, values, rare strikes, and those lucky few coins worth thousands, even tens of thousands. And now the truth stands clear. Not every coin will make you rich. Not every bicentennial dollar will unlock a secret fortune. But every single one of them holds a story, a legacy, a piece of American history. A moment frozen in metal, reminding us that value is not always measured in money, but in meaning. Think about it. Millions of hands may have touched this coin across decades. Some tucked it into drawers for safekeeping. Others tossed it into jars, unaware they held a piece of national pride. Some collectors held their breath, hoping they owned one of the rare silver strikes, the perfect graded coins, the sharp-rimmed beauties that auction houses dream about. And maybe, just maybe, someone watching right now does have one of those lucky pieces. Maybe you picked one up in a flea market, or it's sitting somewhere in your collection, waiting to be rediscovered. Because in the world of coins, miracle finds do happen. And when they do, they don't just change fortunes, they change lives. But the real treasure, it's in the hunt, in the thrill, in the knowledge you've gained, in the pride of holding something that marks 200 years of freedom, sacrifice, and history. A coin that celebrated a nation's past and promised a nation's future. So whether your bicentennial dollar is worth $2, $200, or $20,000, remember this. You're not just collecting coins. You're collecting stories, moments, echoes of time itself. And one day, someone else will hold this same coin long after we are gone, and they'll feel what you feel now. Wonder, curiosity, and pride. Before we end, let me leave you with this final thought. Fortune favors those who keep looking. So keep searching, keep learning, and never let anyone tell you that hidden treasures don't exist, because history has proved, again and again, that sometimes, the rarest things in life are hiding right in front of us. If you found value, knowledge, and inspiration in this video, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because our journey through rare coins, hidden treasures, and untold stories has only just begun. And in our next adventure, who knows what secret fortune we might uncover together. Until then, keep hunting, keep dreaming, and keep believing. Because one day, your next coin might just be the one.